And that is, our administration is going to continue to work with the other members of the Minnesota family to do everything we can to make certain that this is nothing more than a delay. It's like the Vikings losing to Philadelphia. We'll take that loss, but we're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to do everything we can to get these bases built in Hibbing and Duluth.
With more than a little emphasis, Governor Arne Carlson announced the state of Minnesota's intention to salvage the now tenuous Northwest Airbus bases in the Northland. The governor encouraged Minnesotans, and not just the residents of Duluth and Hibbing, not to give up.
Now, we are investing in the future. We understand it's a difficult situation. There's no question about it, but we were very open. The legislature was very open. The process was very open. And we still believe that long-term it's going to work out.
Calling airlines around the nation an industry bent on self-destruction, Carlson challenged Northwest to restructure its debt and stabilize its finances.
We will work with Northwest, but I think what's to be recognized here is the state doesn't sit on the board of directors. The state doesn't manage Northwest Airlines. It never has. But we will certainly do everything we can to cooperate with Northwest.
The governor did admit today that should the bases never be built, that would only speed up the process of paying off $250 million in bonding to the Metropolitan Airports Commission. He did not comment, however, on what the lack of bases would do to the communities of Duluth and Hibbing. In Duluth, Heather Filkins, News 6.
At 9 this morning, thick, heavy smoke could still be seen pouring from the corner of 38th Avenue and Aloise, where a bowling alley, tavern, and the owner's home once stood. Crews on the scene since 4 in the morning poured water on the remaining hotspots, a resource that was hard to come by when they first arrived. Officials say 2 of the 4 nearby fire hydrants were not working.
One of the hydrants on 38th Avenue East and East 2nd, the hydrant cap was seized up, could not be taken off. Another hydrant on 38th Avenue East and East 3rd, the hydrant was froze up.
Assistant Fire Chief Leonard Rouse says by the time they found another water source, the fire was out of control, and crews concentrated on protecting nearby homes from danger. The scorch marks on this house show just how close it came.
And we were struggling for quite a while before we got water.
Fire officials say if the hydrants had worked, the potential for saving the structures would have been greatly increased. The owner of this conoco next door to the disaster says the entire community will feel the loss.
In a little area like this, everybody knows everybody, and you just kind of feel bad for them. Definitely. So, I don't know. It's a shame.
The city of Superior pays the local utility company nearly $500,000 a year for use and maintenance of the hydrants.
I can guarantee you they were inspected last winter because we have a regular maintenance routine of inspecting hydrants throughout the winter because of freeze-ups that are possible.
Ironically, those yearly inspections began this week. In Superior, Amy Rutledge, News 6.
In 1991, 29 people were killed in Wisconsin in snowmobile accidents. Authorities say the majority of the fatalities were people operating their snowmobile while drunk. The state legislature and the Wisconsin Snowmobile Recreation Council say that number is unacceptable, and they have embarked on an all-out effort to reduce the statistics.
Vast majority, 98% of all the snowmobilers in the state of Wisconsin and the visitors that come to the area in Wisconsin itself are definitely very, very good people. We have just very few people that are the renegades, so to speak.
This weekend, a checkpoint was set up in Hurley, Wisconsin. Wisconsin law doesn't allow random stops for snowmobile operators, so officers at the checkpoints had to witness other violations.
There's a problem with the stop sign then?
Yeah. Yeah, you do need to come to a stop and look both ways.
Snowmobilers who broke traffic laws were ticketed, but they weren't the real target of this checkpoint. DNR officers and sheriff's deputies were looking to stop drunken snowmobilers, and they found them.
QRSTUVWYXV.
Authorities pointed out that not only do drunk snowmobilers endanger themselves, but they put others at risk as well.
I think the county feels if they don't keep it safe, people aren't going to come here with their families and use the winter recreation facilities that are available here.
The fines for intoxicated operation of a snowmobile are stiff. A first violation will cost the operator $513. A second conviction within 5 years becomes a criminal offense and carries a fine up to $1,000 and a mandatory jail term of 5 days with a possible sentence of up to 6 months. A third conviction within 5 years could cost up to $2,000 and carries a mandatory jail term of 30 days with a possible sentence of up to a year in prison. The state is serious in its efforts to reduce snowmobile accidents.
Safety, we had a high number of fatalities in Wisconsin last year, and we intend to do something about that.
Authorities won't say where their hotspot checkpoints will be over the next several weekends, but do say they have expanded the program to include Vilas, Oneida, Sawyer, and Douglas counties. In Iron County, Wisconsin, Barbara Riles, News 6.
The force behind the negotiated agreement is to be sure that we've got some control of what the outcome is, rather than go in and find out that we're going to lose this case and have a much greater impact on the resource base in the ceded territory.
A lot of sadness, a lot of good memories here. Two of my kids went to school here, and we're going to miss it. We had a lot of fun here, so it's too bad.
Walkie-talkie and the magic copier and travel magic copier. Magic Potty Baby. A treasure trove.
By now, most of us have received the wish list, but how many of us have had time to get out and fill those dreams? Time is the ultimate problem for many of us, but there are other considerations when you head out on those shopping expeditions.
Have you been to the mall lately? It's crazy. I was there on Saturday. I drove all the way around once. I could not find any place to park. People are driving all over the place. They're looking for a place to park. They're not watching where they're going. And so I ran over to Target and I couldn't get a place to park there. And so I went and got groceries and I came home and I didn't buy anything.
Many shoppers are finding it a whole lot easier just to browse the catalogs and pick up the phone. In 1990, the Direct Marketing Association says 13.6 billion catalogs were mailed, and it estimates more than 100 million consumers shopped by phone or mail in 1991. In August of this year, the international catalog company Fingerhut opened a telephone outlet in Duluth, and spokesmen say business is booming. There's lots of reasons for catalog shopping, and many of the magazines list them right on the front, like free shipping, free time. On this one, quality prices, overnight shipping, over 2,400 products in stock, and hassle-free ordering. And they're winning more and more people over to their way of thinking. Perhaps one of the most compelling reasons listed for catalog shopping is that the consumer is in complete control of when they do the buying. Even when most stores are long closed, many catalog outlets are open for business, many for 24 hours. The experts predict catalog shopping is going to see continued growth. In Duluth, Barbara Riles, News 6.
Ornaments and bows and bright-colored lights, packages and flowers and trees full of treasures, and kids into every bit of it.
Put yourself in the mindset of a small child at Christmas time. The whole house, the whole home takes on just a different experience for these children.
Just like everyone else, children are also caught up in the beauty of the holiday season. The poinsettia's bright red leaves are too tempting for many kids to resist, and pets find them pretty appealing too. But don't fear, because what you've heard about them is probably not true.
Well, poinsettias are definitely not a poisonous plant, contrary to the myths that we all hear. There has been a considerable amount of research that has been done to indicate that poinsettias themselves are not poisonous.
But there are plenty of other pitfalls around the holiday, such as alcohol left where children can taste it, food left out too long causing food poisoning, and nuts that block small windpipes.
And ironically, it's this time of the year when the children need the most supervision. Usually the parents, the caretakers, the adults are so busy with other activities that the level of supervision is usually lower than it is other times of the year.
And one more piece of advice you should listen to: slow down and use common sense. Not that any 2-year-old listens to advice. In Duluth, Heather Filkins, News 6.
People think not wearing a helmet is cool, but it's number one, it'll save your life. Number two, frostbite. I mean, there's many aspects of safety, and people just don't look into that.
Members? Okay. And I'll say this Jordan's the least among, many of our senior members.
While we fully recognize that environmental needs are causing the cost of solid waste disposal to go up, we also stress that the cost must not go up any more than necessary, and especially for the elderly and low-income people.
SB 171.
When in fact it's simply a scam, and once the money arrives at that Western Union office, that's the last they see of it.